10 most recently discovered creatures, new species. Do you believe that more than 90% of nature's biodiversity remain undocumented amid decades of tirelessly scouring some of the most familiar and remote locations on our ecosystem? Well then, this video will show us surprising new discoveries in the search for the unseen creatures. But before we go any further, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel, Animals Wow TV, and smash that like button for more quality videos only us can provide. Without further ado, here's 10 most recently discovered creatures, new species. Number 10. Epinephelus Fuscomarginatus. This grouper species, captured from the Australian fish market, has almost been someone's meal. It's not every day that you discover a previously undescribed animal in a fish market, but that's just what Jeff Johnson, an ichthyologist with the Australian Queensland Museum, did. He had first learned a mystery grouper 15 years ago, and since then, he has obtained occasional photos of the fish, which he felt was a possible new-to-science species. When the fisherman sent Johnson a photo of the grouper again in 2017, Johnson tracked down the market where the fisherman sold the fish and ordered all 5 of the fish he discovered there. Then, along with his colleagues, Johnson studied the DNA of the fish and compared it to the related animals in the zoo. Eventually, the researchers verified in the recent paper released this year that the grouper is still new to science, and they named it Epinephelus Fuscomarginatus. Number 9. Tiny new frogs. Meet minimum, miniature, and minuscule, Madagascar's newest tiny frogs. This year, herpetologists introduced us to 3 previously undescribed species of Madagascar's incredibly tiny frogs, aptly dubbed minimum, miniature, and minuscule. Each one of them, only a couple of millimeters long, belong to Mini, a genus totally new to science as well. From only a handful of sites, new frog populations are known and could even be threatened with extinction. Researchers reported minimum only in the Manombo Special Reserve in southeast Madagascar, while minuscule is known only from the St. Lucie Reserve fragmented forests. It is also probable that the habitats in which the frogs occur are limited, endangered, and declining. Number 8. Andrias Davidianus. The recently described giant Chinese salamander may be the largest amphibian in the world. A single species, Andrias Davidianus, has long been believed to be the Chinese giant salamander, which reaches lengths of more than 5 feet and is the largest recognized living species of amphibians in the world. In the past, some researchers speculated that there were potentially many species of salamander, but a recent study published this year confirmed that the assumption was with evidence. Researchers studied salamander fossils from a number of historical museum collections to see what local wild amphibian populations would have been like before humans began farming the animals and extensively transporting them about, and discovered that the salamander was not only 1, but 3 separate species. These include A. Davidianus, A. sligoi, and a third genus that the time the research was published had not been named. The South China giant salamander is most likely the largest of the 3 known species, exceeding 2 meters in length, researchers claim. Number 7. Niemitz tarsier. It took 25 years for the next one on the list to describe Indonesia's newest tarsier. In 1993, on the Togian Islands of Sulawesi, Indonesia, scientists Alexander Nietzsche and Karsten Niemitz first spotted this tarsier. This primate was identified to locals by the names Bunsing, Tangkasi, and Podi, but it took researchers more than 25 years of extensive study, including the vocalization of the tarsier and DNA, in a paper released in 2019 to actually identify the tiny primate as a species that is new to science. In honor of the pioneer who was one of the first to bring to the scientific world's attention, they call the species Niemitz tarsier, or Tarsius niemitzi. The number of known tarsier species in Sulawesi and neighboring islands has been raised to 12 by the identification of Niemitz tarsier, but the author suggests the islands may be home to at least 16. Number 6. H. Ostridorsum. Some of these 9 Fijian bees, newly described, are confined to a single mountain top. 9 new species of bees from the island country of Fiji in the southern Pacific Ocean were described by researchers. These vivid bees in black, golden green, and metallic colors with traces of purple iridescence are part of the Mollisquama Mississippiensis genus, a category that has not been reviewed taxonomically for 40 years in Fiji. According to researchers, many of these bees either have very small ranges or are only reported from single mountaintops and may soon become extinct due to changes in temperature and other environmental threats. For instance, one new species, Mollisquama terminalis, has only been found on Mount Batelimo, where it appears to be confined to the top 95 meters of the peak of the mountain. Another species newly described, the Ostridorsum, was reported on Mount Tomanivi only, while H. taviuni is named after Taviuni Island, the only location it is known to be from. Number 5. Mico Munduruku. There are newly identified marmoset species living in part of the fast-dwindling Amazon forest biome. When researchers surveyed a group of 3 marmosets with white tails lying between the Tapajos and Jamixim rivers in the Brazilian state of Para, they believed that it was a possible new-to-science animal. There are newly identified marmoset species living in part of the fast-dwindling Amazon forest biome. After the Munduruku, an ancestral group of individuals living in Tapajos Jamixim interfluve, the marmoset was called Mico Munduruku. All this isn't good news, though. The forest in the Amazon, home to M4 agricultural extension, forestry, hydroelectric power stations, and gold mining, Munduruku is being cut easily. Number 4. Plecturocebus Parecis. In the wake of deforestation in Brazil, this new-to-science monkey survived on an island. A second new-to-science breed of monkey, also present in the Amazon rainforest, was announced by scientists. In 1914, scientists first saw the gray monkeys called Plecturocebus Parecis after the Parecis Plateau in Rondônia, Brazil, where they are found. Researchers later saw that the monkeys again in 2011, locally known as the Otoho, and reported that it was completely different to be identified as a different genus from the closely related ashy black titty. The habitat of the titty monkey lies in the arc of deforestation, a region high deforestation where large swaths of forest have been cleared for soy farms for cattle, ranching, and mechanized. Number 3. Vespamantoida Wherleyi. Praying mantises appear to replicate leaves or tree trunks and come in colors of green and brown. A new genus of orange-red praying mantis mimics a wasp. But in 2013, at a research station on the banks of the Amazon River in northern Peru, researchers spotted a vivid orange-red mantis with a black belly. Not only was the praying mantis mimicking the vivid colors of a wasp, but also the motions of a wasp. In the paper published this year, the researchers wrote that such conspicuous mimicry of wasps is uncommon among mantises, making this discovery exciting. The new-to-science species was called Vespamantoida Wherleyi, meaning wasp mantis, with the genus name Vespamantoida. Number 2. The Mount Gaoligong Flying Squirrel. The new giant flying squirrel species gives promises to one of the most desired creatures on Earth. The Mount Gaoligong flying squirrel was recently discovered by Quan Li of the Kunming Institute of Zoology and his team last year in Yunnan, China, Kaduri Farm and Botanic Garden Graphic. The first species described in the genus, the Indian Namdafa flying squirrel, was only seen once in 1981 by researchers. In 2012, researchers first spotted their Laotian counterpart, the Laotian giant flying squirrel, in the bush meat markets of the Lao PDR. From one single specimen each, both species are known. And last but not least, number 1, Mollisquama Mississippiensis. The recently identified pocket shark is presumably shining in the dark. The new-to-science American pocket shark is the second species of pocket shark to be described worldwide. Researchers were surveying the eastern Gulf of Mexico when they gathered a large sample of specimens from the bottom of the ocean to study what sperm whales consume. A small shark that the team hadn't seen before was amongst the set. As it turned out, the animal was a historically undescribed species of pocket shark, not because of its small size, but due to small pocket-like openings or glands located behind each of its pectoral fins. The pocket shark gets its name. This year, in a recent article, the researchers presented the American pocket shark to us, noting that the fish has multiple light-producing organs or photophores covering most of the body, probably making the shark shine in deep seas' dark waters. Learning more of these 10 fascinating new habitats as well as targeted conservation efforts provide us a better knowledge of what our ecosystem can give for these creatures. Like this video? Tell us in the comment section below. We would like to know more from you. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Animals Wow TV, and give this video a thumbs up so we can upload more related videos. Stay tuned as the next video will be starting.